I think we finished here. Did we look at these yet? No, we didn't look at these ones yet. Devil of the Gaps. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of jokes about this name. Can you see on screen? Okay, I can. Alright. Replay point 3-2 for Portalcraft. Put a blade of light or a blade of dark in your hand. Blade of light is give follower -2 attack, +2 defense and ward. Okay, that's okay, I guess. I mean, this card by itself would be terrible, but it comes with the body, which is all right. And then Blade of Dark, give a follower +2 attack, and then remove all effects from the follower except for those that change this card's attack or defense. They don't want you to give something attack, like something that has benefits like attack from like a clash or when it attacks. So they don't want you to be able to do that. So like by yourself, let's say just by yourself, you can either be a 4 play point 1/4 or a 4 play point 5/2. But you can get utility out of these abilities. I don't think this card's any good. Card's not that great. This is a bad version of Coco because it removes the ability it has. If you give you can't give something if you give it to something with Storm, it loses Storm, right? Because the Storm has effect, it loses Storm and loses Bane. You can also put Latest on your opponent's followers to remove their abilities, which is like, it's pretty good, right? It's like a silence. Except you increase their attack. It's kind of awkward. You can also reduce the attack of one of the enemy's followers. Makes it easier to trade into them. Oh, they're kind of like, they got utility. I don't think she's really constructed playable though. Runecraft. How come Runecraft getting all the dragon cards? Like actual dragons. 2 play point 2/2. You get at least 6 play points. You can play him as White Worm or Black Worm. It gives you a Mysterious Circle, the White Worm, and give all your Mysterious spells in your hand the following effect: draw 1 card. Circle is the golem that has ward and gives all the other golems ward. 5/6. All right, the card draw is the best part, but it's like you really want to play a 6 play point 5/6 that draws you a card that draws you a card. Then the Black Worm is a 6 play point 6/5. Put a Mysterious Missile in your hand. That's the better one. It's the 3 damage to a follower, 1 damage to the opponent. You can give all Mysterious spells in your hand. Following effect: deal 1 damage to enemy leader. He needs to burn your opponent out. We'll see how if Mysterion is actually playable deck archetype. First step is Mysteria is a playable deck archetype. Second step is maybe you can play 1 or 2 of these. It does also fit the 2-drop slot as a fighter, so you can fill your curve with this as well. And then later in the game you have the choice. Having the choice is nice. This card is sick and take 2. All right, I think it's the first Dragoncraft legendary, if I'm not mistaken. And play point 10/10. And he's bigger than Bahamut. He's bigger than a Bahamut. If you played at least 10 other non-follower cards this match, and you have 10 play points, choose to play this card as Lindworm, the Virtuous Lindworm or the Inquisitus Lindworm. So 10 spells would be all your ramp cards, all your removal. You just play a bunch of those. You have really cheap ones, Dragon. They're really cheap and really good. You might just have to cut on like some of the followers to try and guarantee this effect. The Virtuous is at the end of your turn, restore 5 defense to your leader, then draw 5 cards. This happens every turn if he doesn't die. He's 10 play points, so drawing 5 cards right away doesn't really matter. But like they have to kill him or he gets a repeated effect. But I mean, he's a 10/10. If they don't kill him, they're probably dead anyways. Yeah, like just a really strong effect, but attached to a 10. Like at least spend your whole turn to heal 5 essentially. Because if your opponent like, you're pretty much trying to get at a range of what your opponent's gonna do to kill you. 10 play point, 10/10 again with Storm. You only attack the enemy leader, ignore enemy follower's word. You know that mechanic in the game that we don't, it was pretty bad? We just made it worse. Okay. It does a lot of damage. A lot of things that are like 9 or 10 play points in the game that do 10 damage, so like he's kind of out of that. There's nothing new, pretty much. And you can evolve him to do 2 more. In Dragon you have ramp, but they design his card so you can't just ramp really fast into him. You can't just go like turn 7, 10 damage to your face, because you're probably not going to play that many non-follower spells by then. Non-follower cards. So I guess it includes amulets as well. Oh yeah, you can't trade with them either. So I mean, if you need to trade to survive or something, and you can't kill them, you just pick this side, and you evolve, you trade, and then you like gain all of the life. And hey, like, if you're just ramping and you're way ahead, you can just play a 10/10 for 10. Sure. I mean, it's like one of the bigger cards in the game, if not the biggest. Noir of History. 2 play point 2/2. Fanfare, put the Prime artifact in your hand. And evolve, you get an artifact card from your deck in your hand. Prime artifact is a 7 play point 5/5. Last words, at the start of your next turn, summon Prime artifact. It's like, it's kind of like Mordecai, but because he spawns at the beginning of your next turn, he can't attack right away. So it's not just like guaranteed you crush your opponent with it, because he's really slow if they remove it. They can also banish it. But it's an artifact, so every time it dies, it adds to your artifact dying count. I think it also has synergy with God Bullet. God Bullet Golem is it can't attack your enemy leader. At the end of your next turn, randomly destroy an allied artifact follower. Deal damage to enemy leader equal to the follower's cost. So it's infinite ammo for your God Bullet. I don't know if that's good enough, but something you can do. Yeah, it's like a slower Mordecai. It's probably decent. And then she still has the fact of just drawing you an artifact on Evolve, which is good. Swift Gate Okami. 5 play point 4/4. Whenever you play another follower, give it Storm, then return this follower to your hand. It doesn't seem good. It's like it's too many play points for this kind of effect. You can give like a 6 drops, like a 5 drop Storm on turn 10. Servant of the Spell Grove. 2 play point 2/2. Whenever this follower attacks an enemy follower, the enemy follower loses the ability to attack on the next turn. This is a pretty, it's a strong effect, but the way of getting it is pretty bad. Like, it's a 2/2, right? Because like you don't want to really lose your guy to get this effect. And if you want to make something like, when you evolve, you want to kill the thing that you're evolving into. You don't want to evolve, attack it, and then it can't attack. It's still on the board. It's like really awkward. I don't like it. Holy Bear Knight. 2 play point 2/2. Ward. This is already a good card. 2 play point 2/2 with Ward. And then enhance 5, gain +2/+2. So it's a 4/4 for 5 with Ward. Which is okay. But just playing on turn 2 is better. And then it has the option of enhance, which is nice. It's probably going to go in like every sword deck. Ever. Veteran Lancer, yeah, that was the card. It's a better Veteran Lancer. Veteran Lancer was played in pretty much every sword list. Maybe not the pure aggro ones. I think it's probably one of my favorite cards so far, if I remember her. Ceridwen. Ceridwen? Need Hunter. 6 play point, 4/5 for Shadowcraft. Fanfare, choose, put a Eternal Potion or an instant potion in your hand. Whenever his follower attacks, recover 1 play point. Get a free play point back by the Goblin. The Eternal Potion is Reanimate 10 for 5. That's pretty good. That's a Zeus right there. It says, ignore this text. It says 5 play points, revive Zeus. It doesn't matter. Like this is revive Zeus. If it's not reviving Zeus, what are you doing? So you pretty much get turn 7 Zeus. An instant potion, 1 play point, deal 2 damage to enemy follower. Barely alright, deal 5 damage dead. So if you have a follower in your hand, you can burial right and deal 5 damage dead. And then because when she attacks, you get that 1 play point. You can do on turn 6, evolve her. She gets full evolve stats. Kill something with her evolve, and then kill something else with the instant potion. So if you're going for like long, like if you know you can combo into Zeus, you go for this. If you need to clear the board, you go for instant potion. Man, card's awesome. She might be a little busted, but busted cards are great as long as they're not free. He's not free. You still have to combo into the Zeus by sacrificing him, and you have to play all these play points. You don't get a 0 cost 5/5 that gets you like a army. Oh boy, everyone's favorite, Marduk, the neutral, one of the neutral legendaries. The other neutral legendary we already saw, Sun and Moon. The 7 play point 7/7. Fanfare, give your leader the following effects. Followers cannot be played from your hand. Whenever you play a spell, draw a card. Whenever you play an amulet, deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. These effects last until this follower leaves the area. He's 7 play point 7/7. The chances that he stays around is pretty low. But if on chance that he does stick around, you have to kind of build your deck around him. And building your deck around a 7 play point 7/7 is probably a bad idea. It'd be fun to build a deck around him, but he's most likely just gonna die before you get to do anything. Let's say you have 10 play points though, which is like a lot in this game. You have 10 play points, the game's over. You do get to get some value by playing something beside him, like a 1 cost spell or a 2 cost spell, or 1 cost amulet, 2 cost amulet. Yeah, they're just too much work to make him good. And he's just having play 1/7/7. It doesn't give you 2 boom bots. Runecraft. 2 play point 1/2 that draws you a random spell from your deck. It's alright. Decks at spell boost would rather have cards that like draw you a card that are a spell, because they are spell boosting at the same time. But I think this is fine. It's just like a cantrip with a body. A lot of the good rune cards are going away. This is probably a good filler. Dragonclad Blademaster, 3 play point 2/3. Fanfare, give +1/+1 and Bane. Overflow is active for you. He's just like a vanilla 2/3 for 3. There's a lot of those in Dragon that like are just vanilla 2/3s with a good effect, and there's way better effects than the +1/+1 and Bane. So he's probably lower on the list of cards you want to play in your deck. Very good in Take 2 though. That's very good take two. For Dragon, you have to compete with Scyther, and you have to compete with Beowulf. This guy's not even close to those. Master Samurai, 3 play point 2/3. Enhance 6, gain +2/+2. Can attack 2 times per turn. Another vanilla 2/3. This one's a Swordcraft officer. I like officers that have these stats because they stick around for to gain like effects off your commanders. But his enhance isn't that great. If he like gained rush or something, it'd be good actually. But you have to evolve on turn 6. This guy's a maybe. He's a maybe playable and corrected. A very maybe. A hard maybe. This was Repcoin's card. Alright. 5 play points. Divine Retribution. Randomly destroy one of the strongest enemy followers in play. Enhance 8. Deal 3 damage to the enemy leader. This is like the worst Dance of Death I've ever seen. Dance of Death was very strong. That card was very, very strong. This is a way worse version than it. Sure. Okay, so it's random. So random's good. And bad at the same time. Random is good because it hits things you can't normally target. It's also bad because you can't get you don't get to choose, right? You don't get to choose it. It's also going to hit the strongest enemy follower, which maybe you always want to do. Sometimes you want to hit the ward to clear the way for the victory. And the enhance 3 more play points for 3 damage face, which is like it's good, right? That's good. It's just like, what do you want it to play for this first effect? 3 play points, 3 damage is very, very strong. In the late game, if you have this in your deck, the 3 damage might be a big deal. It's like it's a huge swing. If you kill their biggest thing and then do 3 damage to them, it's not Dance of Death, but Dance of Death is such a high level in the game that it's like comparing to that is like not that great, right? It's a very solid removal compared to the regular cards we have, right? It's not that bad. Actually pretty good. Now that I look at it more. It's just that having the option to destroy what you want would make this card ridiculous. I think it's pretty fair. And it can kill things that you can't normally target, which is nice. Poltergeist for Shadowcraft. 3 play points. Summon 2 ghosts. Enhance 4. All ally followers in play will be destroyed instead of being banished. So on enhance 4, your ghost will give you 2 shadows. So it will return you 1. This card will generate 3 shadows, which is nice. 4 is a little costly for the effect. We're getting like only 2 1/1s that will die. It also gives your whole team they can't be banished. They're supposed to be destroyed instead. It's kind of costly though. Like to guarantee your cards aren't going to be banished means you have to play this card in the same turn you play those other cards. It's really hard to do that because it costs so much. Like I mean, if you play your Lurching Corpse, your Drawbird or your Fellness on turn 3, you don't expect it to live. It's going to be banished. And then you're gonna be like, oh, on turn 4, you're like, well, this effect's not going to get any value because everything's already banished. Yeah, it's like just not an economical card. And this effect on the other followers is probably not going to really matter most of the time. Bloodcraft, 3 play point 1/1. Fanfare, and last word summon a 4th bat. This is a good card. This is like a Bone Chimera, but with bats inside of it instead. It's a good card. Not as good as Bone Chimera, but it's a good card. And Force Bats stuff, like there's synergies with Force Bats and Blood. It is good. We'll see play. Like 90% sure. Beast Face Mage. 2 play point 2/2. Put an Earth Essence in your hand. Gives you 1 Earth right on the board for 1. That's okay. Yes. I mean, Runecraft, you probably want to be evolving other things. But First Sentence is nice. Pretty much, unless you play it and it gets removed right away, it's probably going to get you at least 1 Earth Essence, which is value. That's probably as best you can ask for this. Maybe he gives you 2 if you evolve him. Rise. Okay, Dwarf Alchemist is gone, so this could be a replacement for him. Portalcraft Legendary. That Witch Erases. 7 play point 6/4. Whenever a card is put in your deck, banish a random enemy follower or amulet. It's another card that costs 7. It has a strong effect if it stays on the board. It's okay, I guess. But it's a 6/4 for 7. It's worse than a 7/7 for 7. This is like not gonna live. It is going to die, and you're not gonna be able to get anything off this. Unless you play him on turn 9, the card that generates you artifact in your deck. There's also cards, yeah, there's also cards that will generate you artifacts in your deck for 0, because there'll be like an amulet on the board that will generate them at the end of turn. Or there's a 0 cost 1 that you can play that puts them from your hand into. So you can combo really well with some of your cards. Yeah, this could be okay. You just need to save your biofictions and stuff like that for him. But I feel like a lot of the time he's just gonna hit the board, hoping that he sticks around, uses the effect, and he dies. Yeah, I'm glad he's not that strong, because Portalcraft is like in a position to be ridiculous. Another Shadowcraft card. Fickle Resurrector, 7 play point 5/5. You have at least 6 shadows. Fanfare, Necromancy 6. Summon either a Spellplate Cavalier or a Bone Cavalier. Evolve all Spellplate Cavaliers and Bone Cavaliers. Doesn't get any stats on Evolve. It's a 2/4 with Ward, that's pretty good. And it's a 3/3 with Drain. And they evolve. They have full evolve stats too, right? I like this card a lot. It's like a replacement for Ector. It's not really a good replacement for Ector, but it's solid. I like this card. We got a monkey. Forest Craft got a monkey. 6 play point 5/5. Ward. If this follower attacks, their defense is increased by a spell or effect you turn to follow this follower. You get Storm. Okay. Even if you don't get this effect, even evolve him is fine. The 5/5 with Storm and Ward? That's good. I don't like him. But he's very good. I'm gonna hate playing against this card. Bloodcraft, 2 play point 2/2. Deal 1 damage to both leaders. And deal 2 damage to a random enemy follower if Vengeance act for you. Okay. Gets you. It's good in like an aggro deck. Pokes the opponent. And then later in the game it has a lot of value. But it's like a random effect. Whatever. It does poke you while you're in Vengeance as well, though. But that's like fine. There's synergies with that, like Jermung. Like so when you poke yourself, even if you're in Vengeance. Heroic Dragonslayer. 2 play point 3/1. Transform a Dragoncraft card in your hand into a Dragon's Handspur. He's got the awkward stats of a 3/1. He's like a Rager. Handspur is a 3 damage to an enemy. Draw a card if the overflow is act for you. That's pretty good. Cantrip and 3 damage to enemies. And go face too. It's a very aggressive card. Really aggressive. He's probably actually like, if aggro dragon the thing, you probably play this guy. And aggro dragon can definitely be a thing.